I'd like to give you a couple of facts that I know you're experiencing, and that's why this might be important to you. No matter how successful you are right now, we've got peaks and valleys in our businesses. And I would suggest to you, most of you, when we're at our peak and we're so jammed up we can't do anything, we're actually should be marketing so that we keep an even flow. So rather than just pontificate here, I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and please participate with me if you will. Who has found a new restaurant that you previously had not been to? Can I just see a show of hands at all? Anybody? Okay. Just curious, how did you find out about that, Bill?
Well, it just happened to be next to the gym that I go to, Southern Spice, an Indian restaurant here in Irvine. So I just drove by.
All right. Did anybody happen to be told about that new restaurant by somebody else?
Sure.
Okay. So what did you do next? Chances are you just blindly made a reservation and went in. Perhaps not. Perhaps you went and checked out the reviews, did some research on it. And that is very, very typical. Another example that I like is Amazon. Now, I'm not a fan of the management of the company, but you can't really deny that they offer a great service. In my studio, I was having a challenge because my lights were on a stand and I was tripping over them. So I thought maybe there's a device I can get. Now you got to remember, I'm really handy with tools. My wife said, stay away from wheelbarrows because you're not good with tools. So I went to Amazon and I looked up this particular item and I thought, gee, that might work. But what was the first thing I did? I checked out the reviews. And they told me that I had a pretty good chance of this thing working. Now, it turns out that it worked out fine. And you're wondering to yourself, where's he going with this? He's talking about restaurants and Amazon, things like that. What do we have in common with what we do for a living? Well, a couple of things. One, they don't advertise. And I'd suggest you don't either. Most of these restaurants that you were referred to or that you drove by and found, they don't advertise. If they do, chances are you didn't respond to it. The other thing is they depend on word of mouth marketing. And that's really the purpose of networking and the collaboration you have with professionals. So what I want to talk about is the fact that we've got risk here. See, if you go to a restaurant and you have a bad meal, what's the hurt? So maybe you got a $100 tab or $50 or $200 if you're at a fancy steakhouse. It's not the end of the world. You're not going to skip a mortgage payment. But when you look at your business, chances are you're a lot more than a couple $100s. So there's big risk involved with engaging you. Even if you're working on commission, it's still a commitment. So what we want to talk about in the next few minutes is what I call an unfair advantage that my clients have. In fact, one of them even said to me, Bob, all I ever wanted in life was an unfair advantage. And now you've given it to me. So what are we talking about here? The fact that if you really analyze it, 81% of your prospects, before they sign your contract, are going to check you out. And where trust comes in is very, very important because authentic video endorsements can give that to you far beyond written ones. In fact, Rhonda shared a great line with me. She said, words tell, videos sell. So let's take a look at the difference between a testimonial, which many people use that phrase, I want testimonials. The reason I don't like the word testimonials is because to me it says, and just watch any TV show when you see people giving testimonials, and I guarantee you will see they are scripted, contrived, and orchestrated. If you were to pick up the phone and ask somebody about the relationship, they wouldn't be giving you a written testimonial. What you want is an endorsement, not a testimonial. Testimonials, to me, are really unbelievable. And if they're written, they can be scanned over. So this is an example of how we work with our clients. The first thing that we have on a video is a synopsis of what that person is going to say. So in case they don't watch the video, they have the essence. So this is a realtor, and in that short sentence, you get the gist of what's going on. Then when the video comes up, you actually hear them tell the story. And as Paul Harvey would say, who I got a chance to meet, You hear the rest of the story that you can't put in a written testimonial. Now, my clients are using this technology here that you see, and I call it a matrix. And in there, they build a cachet of their clients. And what's interesting about this is we're finding that men do not click on a box with a female, vice versa. People who wear suits for a living rarely click on somebody who's wearing a work shirt. People in the medical profession click on people with coats, and so forth and so on. Here's a very successful realtor. He's probably in the top 2%, he and his wife. And you can see the minute that page opens up on their site or on an email, you get the impression this is a serious, serious realtor. Now, the secret of an endorsement is not insipid comments like, they're really nice. I like them so much. We went to dinner with them. They're like friends. That's great. But what you wanted in endorsement is someone to talk about how you took away the stress, how you kept them from making serious financial or emotional mistakes, how you literally went above and beyond expectations. These are the kind of things that come out when you do a proper video endorsement interview. Now, by this time, you're saying, okay, I like the idea, but how do I get these things? Well, the easiest way is to pick up the phone, and you can use these word tracks if you like. They work about 99% of the time. If you like, we'll circulate these slides afterwards. But this phrase works very well. I'm expanding my business or my practice, and I'd appreciate some feedback on Zoom. Keyword, feedback. In fact, they may say, well, I don't want to give a testimonial. You can respond by saying, I don't want a testimonial. I want some feedback. That's what I'm looking for. How long is this going to take? The whole process takes less than 15 minutes. And then the key question is, when can I schedule that 15 minutes? Now, what happens then? Well, many of you are thinking, okay, I can do this myself. And you can, absolutely. You can also represent yourself in court. You can do your own brain surgery, and you can do a lot of things like build your own house. But if you do choose to do this, just know you're going to go into a second career, because now you're going to be learning how to video, how to do lighting, how to do editing, and how you upload things and how you work the social media. So the answer is yes, you could do it yourself, but there's an easier way. Now, once you have these things, you can do a whole lot. The first thing you can do is talk to Rhonda Scher and say, how do I put these on my LinkedIn profile? And she gives some valuable advice on how to do that. They can certainly go on your website. They can certainly go in, if you're on a B2C situation, you can go into social media. Now, I use mine all the time on my email signature line. In fact, before I take a meeting with anybody, I say, please meet my clients. But the secret weapon is I carry mine with me on any presentation I do with a client one-to-one, because they're on my cell phone. So when someone said, hey, I like what you're saying, can you give me some references? I say, here they are, and they can watch them right there, and I don't even need the internet. Now you say, well, why video, Bob? Well, for a couple of reasons. First of all, Google said it best. 83% of everything you're going to be seeing on the web, social media, is going to be video related. You can't argue with Google. Secondly, if you've heard of this study that UCLA did with Albert Morabian, he said that 7% of effective communication comes from the words. Everything else is body language, vocal tonality. So if you're depending on a written testimonial to build trust, you're doing it backwards. You also have no leverage in a written testimonial where you do with video. You can post this as a newsfeed item, and you can actually have your clients even post it on their social media. So a lot of you are probably thinking, okay, I like the idea here, but this is probably going to be mega bucks. Well, it's around $100.